Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being well-informed. Today, we're really getting into something practical, automated trading. Specifically, we're looking at a tool called LiqBot MT5 and how it's used for the NASDAQ100. If you've ever felt, a bit lost with market speed or just curious about how these trading bots actually work, well, this is for you. We're aiming to give you a clear roadmap. Our source today is a quick start guide. Pretty straightforward. It's all about getting LiqBot MT5 running on the NASDAQ100. So our mission really is to unpack how this bot works, the step-by-step setup, and maybe most importantly, the specific settings the creators recommend. By the end, you should have a really solid grasp of it without needing to wade through, tons of technical docs. And let's maybe start with the basics. What exactly is this LiqBot?
Right. So LiqBot MT5, it's essentially an automated trading program, an EA or expert advisor, as they're called in MetaTrader. Its job is basically to scan the market, find trading opportunities, execute the trades, and then manage those positions, all automatically.
Okay, so hands-off trading, essentially.
Pretty much. And its focus is super specific. The NASDAQ100 index. You might see it called NAS100 or US100, depending on your broker.
Right, different symbols for the same thing.
Exactly. And this specialization is actually really important, especially for something as, volatile as the NASDAQ100 can be. And the platform it uses is MetaTrader 5, MT5. Very common platform.
Yeah, lots of people use MT5.
Definitely. And the key thing the guide stresses is that this bot is specifically tuned. That's the word they use for the NASDAQ100. And crucially, only on the 1-minute chart time frame.
1 minute. Wow, that's fast.
It is. It means its whole internal logic, its algorithms, they're designed to spot patterns and chances that pop up really quickly, just within those 1-minute price bars on that specific index. If you tried sticking it on, say, a daily chart or maybe on forex, it probably wouldn't work well at all. Could even lose money.
Okay, so that focus is paramount, the 1-minute NASDAQ chart. Got it. So let's talk getting it set up, the practical steps. Where does someone even begin?
Well, the very first thing is getting the file in the right place. You'll have the LiqBot MQL5 file, usually ends in .ebuy5 or maybe .mq5.
Great.
You need to copy that specific file into your MT5 experts folder. That's where MetaTrader looks for these kinds of automated programs.
And that file path can look a bit intimidating, right? With the app data and terminal IDs.
It can, yeah. Users, your username, app data roaming, MetaQuotes terminal, some long ID number, MQL5 experts. It's a bit buried.
But there's an easier way, the guide mentions.
Yes, thankfully. Inside MT5 itself, you just go to the File menu, click Open Data Folder.
Oh.
That opens up Windows Explorer right where MT5 keeps its files. Then you just navigate into MQL5 and then into Experts. Much simpler.
Nice tip. Save some digging. Okay, file copied. What's next?
Step 2, and this is absolutely critical. You must restart MT5. Close it down completely, then open it back up.
Just like installing any software, really. Needs a refresh.
Exactly. It needs to recognize that new file you just dropped in. If you don't restart, LiqBot just won't appear in your Navigator window under the Expert Advisor section. You'll be looking for it, and it won't be there.
Okay, restart done, then step 3.
Step 3 is getting the right chart ready. You need to open a NASDAQ100 chart, or NAS100, US100, whatever your broker calls it.
And crucially,
set the time frame to 1 minute, M1. Because, as we said, the bot is tuned for that specific frequency.
You're right, the 1-minute chart. Can't forget that.
Then you just find LiqBot in the Navigator panel. It should be there now under Expert Advisors, and you literally drag it onto that 1-minute NASDAQ chart.
Drag and drop. Simple enough.
And then step 4, also super important. Look at the top toolbar in MT5, the button that says Algo Trading.
Uh-huh.
You need to make sure that button is green, active. If it's gray or red, the bot is loaded, but it's basically switched off. It can't actually place any trades.
Okay, so green means go for the bot.
Precisely. Click it if it's not green. So file in place, restart MT5, bot on the 1-minute NASDAQ chart, Algo Trading button green. Then you're ready for the settings.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, right? The actual configuration, the brains of the bot.
Indeed. When you drag the bot onto the chart, or if you double-click it later, a settings window pops up. And the guide gives you what it calls the best config for NAS100 1 meter.
Suggesting these are pretty well tested, maybe.
That's the implication, yes.
Yeah.
Optimized for this specific task. So let's walk through them.
Right.
First up, lot size. It's recommended as 2. Lot size controls how big your trade is. Bigger lot, bigger potential profit or loss. So 2 lots is, a significant size depending on your account.
Okay. And stop loss, take profit.
Both are set at 4,000 points. Now, points on NASDAQ can be a bit confusing depending on the broker, but 4,000 is quite wide.
Yeah, seems like a big range.
It does. It suggests maybe the bot isn't trying to scalp tiny moves,
Hmm.
but perhaps capture larger swings, or just give trades room to breathe without getting stopped out by noise.
Makes sense. What about how it finds trades, these bars settings?
Right. Bars for recent high-low is 3, and bars max to confirm trap is also 3. Remember, we're on a 1-minute chart.
So it's looking at just the last 3 minutes of price action.
Exactly. Very short-term analysis. It's looking for a recent high or low within that tiny window, and then confirming some kind of trap pattern, maybe a false break or reversal within another 3 minutes. Very quick decisions.
Okay. And how many trades can I have open?
The max simultaneous positions is set to 1, so it'll only ever be in one trade at a time on this chart, which simplifies things, helps manage risk.
And the magic number, just an idea, right?
Yeah, magic number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just an identifier. So if you run other bots or trade manually, MT5 knows this bot opened this specific trade. Useful for tracking.
Got it. What about trading times? It doesn't run 247.
No, and that's common. An angle trading hours filter is set to true. The start hour is 14, which is 2 p.m. server time, presumably aligned with U.S. market hours, and start minute is 0. The end hour is 22, so 10 p.m., and end minute is 0.
So basically trading during the main U.S. session hours.
Sounds like it, yeah. Capturing that peak liquidity period. And there's a specific setting for Fridays. Trade on Friday is true, but the end hour on Friday is earlier, 19, which is 7 p.m.
Closing up shop before the weekend.
Exactly. Avoids holding positions over the weekend when the market's closed, and big gaps can happen on the Monday open. It's a common risk management tactic.
Okay, those settings are super specific. It feels like a very defined strategy, but the guide also has this pro tip saying you can tweak them. How should someone approach that? Isn't there a risk in just randomly changing things?
That's a really important point. Yes, there's definitely a risk. That pro tip is about adjusting to your style or your view of the market, but it implies you should understand why you're changing things.
Right, not just change for the sake of changing.
Exactly. For instance, maybe your risk tolerance is lower. You might think about reducing the stop loss from 4,000 points.
Yeah.
But you need to understand that might mean getting stopped out more often, even if the losses are smaller.
Or maybe increasing the lot size if you have a larger account.
You could, but that directly increases your risk per trade. The key is understanding the impact of changing each setting. These recommended values likely work together in some way. Changing one might affect how the others perform. Deviating too much without testing, well, that could easily break the strategy.
So understanding leads to informed tweaking rather than just guessing.
Precisely. And that's where backtesting comes in.
Ah, yes, okay. So once you've punched in all those settings, or maybe your carefully considered tweaks,
Yeah.
you just hit OK on that settings window.
Yep, hit OK. And assuming the algo trading button is green, LiqBot is now live. It'll start scanning the 1-minute NASDAQ Q chart according to those rules and hopefully start managing trades for you.
And if you do want to test changes or just see how the default settings might have performed historically,
That's the want to backtest part the guide mentions. MT5 has a built-in strategy tester. It's powerful.
so you can run the bot on historical data.
Exactly. You can feed it past NASDAQ100 1-minute data and see how it would have traded based on the settings you give it. You can compare the results of the recommended settings versus your tweaked settings. See the performance reports, equity curves.
That sounds incredibly useful for building confidence or refining the approach.
It is. It's not a guarantee of future results, of course, but it's invaluable for understanding the bot's behavior and the potential impact of changes. The guide even mentions the creator provided their own backtest video, which is great for seeing what they considered good results.
Right, a benchmark to compare against. Okay, so just to wrap up the setup part, the guide gives that final checklist. Let's recap that quickly.
Sure. It's LiqBot file and the right MQL5 experts folder.
Check.
MT5 restarted so the bot shows up.
Check.
Bot attached specifically to a 1-minute NASDAQ100 chart.
The M1 chart. Check.
The main algo trading button is green, not gray.
Green means go. Check.
And your settings input into the bot match those recommendations or your tested adjustments.
Check. Okay. So putting this all together, what does this deep dive really give someone who's maybe curious about this kind of trading?
Well, I think it gives you a very clear, actionable roadmap for one specific tool on one specific market. You get the step-by-step setup, which can often be a hurdle, and you get the creator's recommended settings, which is a huge starting point. In fields like automated trading, things move fast, so getting this kind of focused knowledge quickly but thoroughly is pretty valuable. It cuts through a lot of noise.
It demystifies it a bit, maybe?
I think so. It shows you the components involved,
Yeah.
but it also leads to deeper questions, which is good.
Like what? What's the provocative thought for today?
Well, we've talked about these very precise recommended settings for NASDAQ100. They seem optimized. So think about this. What are the real implications if a trader does decide to deviate significantly? Maybe they change the target profit drastically or the trading hours without really robust backtesting. How much does fitting your style or market rely on genuine insight versus just wishful thinking? And how critical is that backtesting process in turning a generic bot into something that genuinely aligns with your understanding and your risk appetite? What does it really mean to make a tool like this your own?